Gay rights. There's been a constant battle between the homosexual and heterosexual communities of our world. For a long time, heterosexuals have oppressed those who are attracted to the same sex, but only now are these issues being addressed on a global platform. There are several reasons for this heterosexism, but one thing that heterosexists forget is that homosexuals are people too, and their struggles are very real.
The gay rights movement started out with the formation of the first gay rights group. The movement grew over time from there into the force that it is now. Here is a brief look at the gay rights timeline.
I told my mom, tears rushing down my face. She's like, Ben, you've loved girls since before pre-K. Tripping. Yeah, I guess she had a point, didn't she? Bunch of stereotypes all in my head. I remember doing the math, like, yeah, I'm good at Little League. A preconceived idea of what it all meant. But those that like the same sex have the characteristics. The right-wing conservatives think it's a decision. And you can be cured with some treatment and religion. Man-made rewiring of a predisposition, playing God. Oh nah, here we go. America the brave still fears what we don't know. And God loves all his children. It's somehow forgotten, but we paraphrase a book written 3,500 years ago. I don't know.
And I can't change, even if I tried, even if I wanted to. And I can't change, even if I tried.
If I was gay, I would think hip-hop hates me. Have you read the YouTube comments lately? Man, that's gay, gets dropped on the daily. We become so numb to what we're saying. A culture founded from oppression, yet we don't have acceptance for 'em. Call each other faggots behind the keys of a message board. A word rooted in hate, yet our genre still ignores it. Gay is synonymous with the lesser. It's the same hate that's caused wars from religion, gender to skin color, the complexion of your pigment. The same fight that led people to walkouts and sit-ins. It's human rights for everybody. There is no difference. Live on and be yourself. When I was at church, they taught me something else. If you preach hate at the service,
there have been many influential figures in the gay rights movement. These men and women have advanced the movement in many ways, through sacrificing themselves for the cause, by achieving wonderful things, or by making groundbreaking discoveries. These people include
freedom till we're equal. Damn right I support it. Press play, don't press pause. Progress march on, with the veil over our eyes. We turn our back on the cause, till the day that my uncles can be united by law. When kids aren't walking around the hallway, plagued by pain in their heart. A world so hateful, some would rather die than be who they are. And a certificate on paper isn't gonna solve it all, but it's a damn good place to start. No law is gonna change us. We have to change us. Whatever God you believe in, we come from the same one. Strip away the fear, underneath it's all the same love. About time that we raised up.
Today, the gay rights movement has been going through many different struggles. To discuss these struggles and the effect of gay rights movement in modern times, we talked to senior Natalie Erickson, the leader of the Gay Straight Alliance at Evanston Township High School.
I think the funny thing about the conversation we're having in our society as a whole, I think it's fun because it's a fad, like it's become cool, which I think is so great. It moves so much more quickly than anything like it ever has, from what I can tell.
Equality.
I imagine it's really different going to high school it was different going to high school for me than it was 5 years, for someone 5 years older than me. Just because people, it's become cool to be like pro-gay or whatever. Like, you know how like in the last couple months, like conservative congressmen have been like, I'm for gay marriage, and it happened within like a week. Everything's so much more fast paced. So, you know, the difference between my experience and like my younger sister who's going to be a freshman next year, you know, the experience that kids in her grade are going to have is going to be completely different. You know, when I came out, I think we didn't have, there was, I think Massachusetts had marriage, and now there's like, what, 13 states? Like, it just moves really quickly. But my issue with the kind of movement as a whole, as it were, is that the discourse is focused on marriage, and I think that we should be focusing more on employment protections. I'm not sure the exact number of states, but there are a lot of states that do not, like, you can get fired for being gay or having gender expression that does not fit with anything traditional.
Looking good, Bob. Jim, see you at the game. Hey, Tom, you're fired.
Aww.
Employee protections, A. Way more important is, I think school climate is the most important. And that's the most, it's most important because it's most overlooked. I used to work, or I worked with the Illinois Safe Schools Alliance, which they have something like it in most states. And what they do is they help train youth advocate groups, so they come to GSAs and help, you know, help youth leaders learn skills. I mean, they're a very useful group. They provide resources, and one of the things they did is they lobbied for the Prevent School Violence Act. So in Illinois, we're one of 10 states with this kind of really comprehensive anti-bullying law that is legally enforced within every school, whether or not you have that kind of law, like that kind of like school rule. Like if you look at our pilot, we actually have verbatim certain chunks of the law copy pasted in. Maine South, they have you can't say mean things. Like that's their no bullying law. It's like it's like a one sentence. It's really sad, but the whole law applies. We're one of the few states with that, so I think that's really, really important. Because if you grow up feeling comfortable, you're way more likely to be able to be comfortable as an adult, and you're going to be able to advocate for yourself.
There are many solutions in place to help homosexuals achieve equality, and there are so many things that are being created to help bring a better future. These solutions include:
Do you think that gay rights has changed from the 20th century until now? How?
Well, yeah, and like I said before, it moves really quickly. You know, 20 years ago it was about like murder. Now it's about, you know, can you visit people in the hospital? It's just a really different climate. The fact that the military is, you can't get kicked out of it for being gay. I mean, that's really big, because that's a really strong patriarchy system. And oh god, I mean, I don't know, I suppose it happened in the 90s or something, but it went from being like really bad to really visible. I think the visibility is the key. My dad says that when in the 70s, it was like the most subversive thing you would do is you'd come out, because that was so, it was like, if people know gay people, it's going to be different, and that's what we're going to do to change it. Now there's so many people out, so it just, as soon as you know somebody, it often changes the minds. I really think that's what it came down to. Now it's widespread, it's everywhere, everybody knows about it, so it's kind of like, oh, if my cousin's gay, I suppose I can't like hate them, so might as well be legally equal.
The most important thing for people to do is to acknowledge the gay rights movement and to help the movement advance. Homosexuals are people too, and they deserve equality.